Whether a program is designed to simulate a chemical experiment, generate an economic projection, or analyze survey results, at their core, all programs store and manipulate data. This data can represent any variety of things, such as the temperature of a solution, the percentage increase in a stock's value, or an average satisfaction rating. To easily save and reference data in a program, programming languages use variables. The term variable means different things in different fields. In mathematics, a variable is an unknown value. In statistics, independent variables are values that can be changed to test their effect on dependent variables. But in computer science, a variable serves as a named location for storing data. A programmer can give a variable a descriptive name of their choosing. In that way, known data values, like the freezing point in Celsius, or data values that will be determined as a program runs, like the average age of survey respondents, can be referred to by meaningful names. Using meaningful variable names helps make the logic of a program clear, which in turn makes programs much easier to write, read, and understand. So let's start by looking at how to specify a variable's name.
Naming variables. In general, variable names can contain upper or lower case letters, numbers, and the special character underscore. Examples of valid variable names are height, salary, %_discount, max weight. Using the underscore, as well as varying the capitalization in a variable name, can make longer variable names more readable. Be careful. Spelling and capitalization do matter in programming. As a result, the names salary, starting with an uppercase S, and salary, starting with a lowercase s, will be treated by a program as two different variables. In most programming languages, blank spaces and special symbols other than the underscore cannot appear in variable names. Also, variable names cannot start with a number. So names like discount percent. Test-1, number of houses, first place, are not valid variable names. Discount percent and test-1 contain illegal special characters. Number of houses contains blanks, and first place starts with a number. Programming environments, which are used to write and run programs, are very good at detecting invalid variable names. They will helpfully let you know if a variable name is invalid, so that you can easily change it to an appropriate name. Different programming languages also have different naming conventions. A naming convention is an accepted pattern used by programmers for naming variables in a particular language. Examples of conventions are camel case, in which the beginnings of different portions of a variable name are capitalized, like cost per week. Another convention is snake case, in which the beginnings of different portions of a variable name are separated by underscores, like cost_per_week. However, since such naming conventions are not required by the language, it is not considered an error if you choose not to follow them. It is a good idea to give your variables names that describe the information they hold. For example, if your program has a variable that holds the number of students in a class, your code will be easier to understand if the variable holding that information is named class size, rather than CS, or worse, simply X. Using meaningful variable names, even if they are somewhat long, is a good way to make the logic of your program clear, so that it is easier for humans to understand and update, which helps to avoid programming errors. Be sure to check out the variable naming rules and naming conventions for your programming language.
Assigning values to variables. When a variable is created in a program, its name is associated with a memory space that will hold its current value. The variable name can then be used to refer to that memory space and the value it holds. To visualize variables and how they work, they are often pictured as a variable name next to a box that holds its current value. When visualizing multiple variables in a program, they are often represented as a table showing the association between each variable name and its current value. The first type of programming statement we will cover is the assignment statement. Assignment statements are used to place values into variables. Assignment statements have the following general format: a variable name followed by an assignment operator followed by a value, which will place the value on the right-hand side of the assignment operator into the variable on the left-hand side, replacing any value the variable currently contains. The assignment operator is typically read as is assigned to, or is set to. Assignment statements do not affect the values on the right-hand side of the assignment operator. The two most common assignment operators used in programming languages are the equals sign and an arrow symbol, formed by a less than sign and a hyphen. The general tutorial videos will be using the arrow symbol because it emphasizes that the value on the right-hand side of the assignment operator is being placed into the variable on its left-hand side. So for example, if a variable named num credits already holds the value 0, and we now want it to hold the value 3, we would use the assignment statement num credits is assigned 3, which places the value 3 in the location associated with the variable name num credits, replacing its old value of 0. The value on the right-hand side of an assignment can be a literal value, like the number 3, or it can be a variable, or it can be a value determined through some calculation or process. Before looking into these options for assigning values to variables, we will first examine some of the various types of data and how they are represented in a program. Be sure to check out the operator or operators your programming language uses for assignment.
Now let's review our key points. Remember, variables are used to store data. Programming languages define the format for naming variables. Variables are differentiated by their names, including the use of capitalization, spaces, and underscores. And finally, an assignment statement is used to place a value into a variable, replacing the variable's previous value with the new value.